Oops, let me turn this light on. Sorry. Sorry, I needed more light. Hello, how is everyone doing? I had a difficult time going live today because I forgot how to do it. So please forgive me. Welcome, everyone. I'm glad to be here again with you today. And I have some exciting news to share with you. It took me approximately a month and a half to create this live session, doing this on my YouTube channel because I had to reactivate it and change my focus. And I had to learn how to do a lot of things in Canva. And so that took me a while, but I'm here and I had my live session last week. I was very happy about that. And here I am live again today. And so we are going to be transitioning to a new focus because of my experience last week. And I can't wait to tell you all about it. We're going to transition from faith over fear, roadmap to possibilities, which is what my title was last week. And this week, we're going to be bridging the gap, helping kids navigate fear and build strong connections with their parents and others. And I can't wait to tell you how that focus happened. It was just in divine order. Sometimes life gives us unexpected moments that open our eyes to something we hadn't seen before fully. And that happened to me last week. And I'm going to share it with you right now. On my birthday, a family member opened up to me in a way she had never before opened up. I'm going to call her Sierra. She's a member of my family, and she's between the age of 11 and 14. Well, Sierra confided in me about some fears that she was having and how she was struggling with school. And this made her feel lonely, disappointed, and unsure of herself. So in that moment, I wasn't just her grandmother. I was a listener, a guide, and someone she trusted. I realized that fear starts early. The struggles we face as adults begin in childhood when we don't yet have the tools to navigate them. And I couldn't ignore that calling. So, how this came about was it was my birthday, and she asked me how young I was. And so, being the former educator that I am, I said, well, listen, I want you to figure out how old I am. I'm going to give you my birth date, and and what is the year's date? And she figured it was 2025. So I said, well, subtract my birth year from 2025, and you'll get my my young age. And she attempted to do that. She was struggling with it a little bit. And so that came to a conversation about how lonely and disappointed she felt about herself because of her inability to do math. And so we started talking a little bit about how that came about and or was she in school and what was she learning? And she confided in me that, you know, during COVID, she was put into an online class. And when it was time for her to do her math homework, she opted to play games instead. And she revealed that to me, which I thought was a very strong thing for a young woman to do. And I applauded her for it. And, but I could relate to it. I mean, because I love playing games myself. I use a lot of games when I taught, and I'm still going to use some. So I understood the lure of, doing a game because, they set these games up to keep you doing that and to reward good behavior. And of course, you get rewarded for everything you do good. And so I told her, I said, well, a lot of people play games. And it's okay to play games, because I love games myself. She said, but there's a time and a place to play them. And if you're being assigned something in the class, then that skill that they're trying to help you learn is very important for you to have growing up in society. And so we struggled with it. Both of us struggled with subtracting it because, they teach you a new way to do math in school, and I didn't know how to do that. But we figured it out, and this is why she told me how she felt doing math and how she felt sad and everything. And so I asked her, I said, well, are you aware of how important these skills are in your life, moving forward, when you get a little older and you start performing different tasks like managing finances and making informed decisions about budgeting and calculating measurements and understanding data and navigating various work situations and personal life, making it a fundamental skill across many professions and daily activities, including shopping, cooking, traveling, and even playing games. So it's important. And I want you to really think about, honing this skill that will benefit you for the rest of your life. So this big realization came. I saw something so clearly that if we can help children reframe their fears early, we can change their future. If we can bridge the gap between kids and parents, we can heal generations. And so my heart was pulled in this new direction. And I just want to let you know that it's not about leaving my original mission behind. It's about expanding it to include the children. Fear doesn't just affect women, it starts when we're young. And that's where my focus is shifting, helping children and in turn helping the families who love them. So I saw this situation really as an opportunity to help Sierra grow her mindset. And in order to do that, we have to first know what a mindset is. So I looked it up, and a mindset is like a pair of glasses you wear in your mind. It's how you see yourself and the world around you, the way you think about things, like whether you believe you can learn something new or not, affects what you do and how you feel. If you believe you can get better at something with effort, that's called a growth mindset. If you think you're just stuck and can't change, that's called a fixed mindset. Your mindset helps shape your success because what you believe about yourself matters. Why does it matter? Because what you believe, you become. Okay? So we want to make sure we begin to spiritualize, to change the thoughts that we think about who we are so that we can become that. Look at it this way. Your mind is a garden. If you believe you can grow and learn, it's like planting seeds and watering them. They turn into strong, healthy plants if we nurture them, if we water them and fertilize them. They nurture, they become strong. But what happens if we don't nurture them? If we plant something and forget about it and the weeds take over the plant garden and everything? So the good news is that you can always choose to plant new seeds, and you can always choose to nurture and take care of that garden by removing the weeds when they grow. And this will help your mindset grow as well. So, if you don't feel good and you're feeling sad and, you don't feel, like you're being loved or accepted the way that you want to because, you feel like a failure in math, then you can change that because that's a belief. And a belief is just that, something you believe about yourself, but that belief is not necessarily the truth about who you are. So this brought up the opportunity for Sierra and I to talk about, you know, who she truly was. What is your true identity? And I brought this is when I brought in the Bible, because I mentioned, the importance of belief. And this is talked about in the Bible. I use the King James Version in Genesis 1:27, which states, "So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him," which is divine love. So we talked, Sierra and I talked, and we talked about, how she believed or felt about herself, especially when she was doing math, and the fact that that's not who she truly is, because her true identity is made in the image and likeness of God, which is love. And so we can see that verse in the Bible, which a lot of people believe in the world, and they use it as the principles upon which they live. In Genesis 1:27, it states, "So God created man," meaning man and woman, "in his own image. In the image of God created he him, in the image of divine love." So we talked about how she believed about herself and the difference between what she believed and what the Bible says that her image is. And so we started from there. So her first assignment was to think about, how she felt when she was doing math, and she wrote those things down. And then I asked her to draw an image or picture, because she loves art. She's an artist, and she says she loves art. So I gave her an assignment in alignment with what she loves to do. And I asked her if she would create an image or a picture based on how she felt when she was doing math. And she did. And she turned it in to me, and it was a lovely picture. I didn't know she was so talented. But she had the colors down, and it just looked beautiful. And so I mentioned it to her, and I would love to show you the picture. I really would, because I think it's fantastic. She is so talented. But I don't know how to do that without compromising her identity. I want to keep her safe. And before I put anything on social media, I want to make sure that it's not connected to her at all. Because, she's underage, and I do feel it's my responsibility to protect her, because this is my site, it's not hers. And so we moved from there. We talked about God's image and how she felt about love, and some words that she had come up with that expressed how she, generated love. And so after the first assignment, she gave it back to me, and we discussed that, and she told me how she felt about it. And we thoroughly discussed that. So I'm just doing a quick version of it here. I didn't want to go into the depths of it, but she discussed how she felt doing math. And we reiterated the conversation about, well, those are just beliefs that you formulated about yourself. It's not your true self. Remember, your true self is made in the image and likeness of divine love. So being a failure and feeling angry and sad and mad and disappointed is not reflective of how God sees you, because God sees you as divine love, as his child. And he loves you by, providing, supplying you with what you need to, navigate this life, this world. And so after we discussed that, I asked her, I said, can you think of some qualities, some words that represent how you feel when you're feeling good about yourself? When you're loving yourself, when you're in your family and playing and everything. And so she did, to make a long story short, she came up with 10 words, and they were wonderful words. And she shared those words with me. I didn't ask her to create an image because I felt that that may have been challenging to her. So, but she did do it. She created an image of herself, feeling good about herself, have being joyful, being happy, playing outdoors in the summertime with her animals and all. And she did that, and it was a beautiful image. Oh, I wish I could show it to you. I will as soon as I find out how. And the colors were beautiful, and she said she felt good. And so we continued that conversation. So with all of that being said, this does not mean that spiritual impulse will be exploring totally new conversations, but what we will be doing is having conversations about how children experience fear and how parents can support them, and how we as a community can bridge the gap between the two. I really want this to be a space, a safe space for women and children to feel seen, and for parents to feel equipped, supported, and empowered. And together, we can rewrite the stories of fear into stories of resilience. So, that's what I have for you today. And I wanted to hear from you if there's anybody who would like to share anything right now for us. The question I have for you is, what fears did you experience as a child? What conversations do you wish you had? Drop your thoughts in the chats, and let's start this journey together. And I'm going to keep the chat open if I have to go over how to do that now. Remember, I'm a newbie here, so I'm just starting, but I will get better, and these things will be taken care of in a timely manner. So let's walk this path together and see where it leads us. I would love for you to continue to watch my channel and to give the thumbs up and to subscribe. And therefore, I can send out invitations to you when my next scheduled live presentation is going to be, which is going to be every week from 7 to 8, but they will be recorded, and you will be able to access them on my site, Spiritual Impulse. So if you can't make it, I understand. But if you do watch it and you like it, please, say that you did, give me a thumbs up or whatever it is that they're doing. And also subscribe if you'd like to hear more, and especially if you'd like to help your children who may be going through or experiencing some fear caused by the social situation and the political situation here in America. So thanks for joining, and we'll see you next week. Bye.